This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans, welcome to another installment of Wrestling Insiders. I'm Dan Marotti, joined by absolutely nobody. They're all on assignment out in the spring weather with some blockbuster news coming your way throughout the month of June. Right now, we're going to continue our flashback to the 2019 Cauliflower Alley Club Awards in Las Vegas, Nevada. Before we do, though, we want you to be part of the great nonprofit CAC.
Joining the nonprofit Cauliflower Alley Club is easy. Membership start at only $25 in the United States, and dues help raise funds for veterans and legends with medical bills, living expenses, and other emergencies. Established in 1965, the CAC is the only source of its kind to assist active and former wrestlers. What began as a weekly luncheon at California has evolved into a blockbuster 4-day annual reunion. Head over to caulifloweralleyclub.org to join professional wrestling's Ring of Friendship. We'll see you at the next year's reunion in Las Vegas.
All right, wrestling fans, get ready for a good one. We know you've been looking forward to it. Former WWE World Champion Mark Henry presented his award by a gentleman that's held numerous titles in WWE, competed here at the first sole survivor in the Millennium Wrestling Federation. We're talking about D'Lo Brown, along with our buddy, a man that's been right here in this studio, good old JR, Jim Ross. Check it out.
I said earlier tonight, now we're going to backload this show. Not just in weight, charisma. You know, I signed a lot of really good talent, WWE, in my time there. They might not want to admit it when they rewrite their history, but I don't give a shit. To be honest with you. They know, the talent know, they know, you know. The great thing about our business is that we as fans, as administrators, or whatever we are, we have the opportunity to play it forward if we choose. If it's not all about us, it can be about our business, and we are allowed to play it forward in life, including pro wrestling. So, our final award recipient tonight, receiving the honored Mike Mazurki Award. And of course, Mike Mazurki, the great actor, he was a pro wrestler. If you look at his biography, you'll see he was a big-time player. But before he was a big-time player in Hollywood, guess what? He was a wrestler. And he loved being a wrestler. And 54 years ago, he created his club to honor wrestlers and boxers and actors. That's the Iron Mike Award. If you watch them on TV, watch the movies, sometimes I mark out because I know he's a wrestling guy. So like Donovan's Reed and John Wayne, he was John Wayne's heel. They worked a program. John Wayne went over. Iron Mike got paid. We all lived happily ever after. That's wrestling. So tonight's finale is especially important to me. I was watching TV one Saturday when I was living in the wonderful Connecticut. Ooh. You don't know how hard it was to say that. I'm living in Oklahoma now, and I kind of like it better. The weather's nicer, so forth, but nonetheless. That's another story here another time. I was sitting in Connecticut one Saturday afternoon, and I'm watching the NBA All-Star Weekend. So I'm chilling. Just got the phone to Jack Lanza to go over some finishes. I was booking the house shows at that time for WWE, and we were on a pretty good roll. Thanks to some cats like Stone Cold and The Rock, who kind of got over. Makes all the bookers look really smart because the talent got over. Boy, were they over. So I'm watching TV this Saturday afternoon, the NBA All-Star game, and I see this massive black man. He was 400 pounds. and he dunked the damn ball at the NBA All-Star Weekend in Phoenix, I think it was. So I called Vince McMahon immediately on the phone and said, of course I know he didn't watch, he ain't watching nothing. Hey Vince, I just watched the NBA. Check out this kid. This big black kid is 400 pounds, he's dunking a goddamn basketball. We gotta sign him. I said, oh, calm down, calm down, JR. But I saw magic in this kid. And then as time went on and we finally hired him, I fell in love with him because he was my kind of guy. He loved the business, he cared, and God Almighty was he an amazing athlete. The strongest man in the entire world. No BS. This ain't just some wrestling hype story. This is real. This is real in the standpoint that no one ever lifted more weight than this man. He's our guy. It all started with a dunk of a basketball at the NBA All-Star game. And I'm so happy that we signed him. I fell in love with the guys I mentioned, and that's what happens sometimes when you get too close to your talents. I've been accused at times by some talents who didn't make it, that I wasn't on JR's list. I feel so sorry for you that you feel that way. Boo, fucking who.
Yeah.
Pick your ass up and make yourself relevant. How's that? So this kid is a winner. I love him. He's a great representative of the wrestling business. He is a broadcaster of amazing success on Sirius XM, now channel 156 on the radio. I love this show. He and Dave LaGreca, Bully Ray, Bubba Dudley, and others, Tommy Dreamer. They do a great job in representing our business every Monday through Friday on the radio. So to introduce my boy, Mark Henry, is another of my boys. And I apologize, D-Lo, right now for giving you that gimmick of the chest protector on your crossbody, on your frog splash. I apologize for that idea. But it seemed to be some of us thought it was a good idea at the time. Nonetheless, please welcome the very talented D-Lo Brown to end up Mark Henry.
Good evening, all. JR, before we get started, I am damn proud to claim you as someone who signed me, and I will claim you for the rest of my damn life. I'd like to give a hand to all the presenters and all the recipients tonight. I'd like to give a hand to the CAC, it's the hell of an organization. And I'd like to give a thanks to my wrestling family, my WWE family, and now my new CAC family. So when Mark gave me a call, he goes, hey, D-Lo, would you like to help present this award to me? I immediately said, thank you, it's an honor, Mark. I can't wait till I hung the phone up and start writing stuff down. We're not, like, no, I can't tell a story. No. I wrote something else down. No, I can't tell that story either.
Yeah, you can.
Shh, kayfabe. And then I finally just tore the piece of paper up and I just said, Mark doesn't want some script. He wants his friend of 20 plus years just talk about how much he meant to me in my life and how much he meant to the world of professional wrestling. So it was a night in a strip club in New Orleans. Sorry, Mark, I had to get that in. But seriously, the first time I met Mark, we were rolling around doing pre-show wrestling practice in a WWF ring. And Mark came down there and he started locking up. He grabbed me and, Lord, I thought as a 5-year-old kid my dad was holding me because he grabbed me a lot harder than any man should ever grab another man in his life. I said, loosen up, kid, don't you know it's a work? And he smiled and goes, well, that was easy. I was like, oh, Lord, I'm in trouble. And then as fate would have it, we got put together in the nation. We got surrounded by guys like Ron Simmons, the Godfather, Charles Wright, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. And then Mark and I got tied together as a team. And a funny thing happened, we weren't friends when it started, but instantly we started traveling together on the road. We started bonding, not only in the ring, but hell, driving 300 miles from, Pittsburgh to Cleveland. We'd chill in the same hotel room, we'd tell stories. And somewhere along the line, I started thinking of Mark not just as a comrade in wrestling, but as the brother I didn't have. And what great thing it is to travel around the world with a dude you actually love being around and enjoying this professional wrestling business and then going out there in front of thousands every night and entertaining them and coming back and looking each other in the face going, damn, we did good. Mark taught me a lot of things in this world. He taught me how to be kind and benevolent. He taught me how to be a professional. He taught me how to think of things bigger than yourself. I tell the story all the time. Mark's the kind of guy who will give you the shirt off his back. And if you don't take it, he will knock you up and put it on you. That's the kind of guy Mark Henry is. And I can go through all the wrestling stuff. We know that. We are all wrestlers here. We know what he has done in wrestling. What you don't know is the man. I've sat at his mama's table in Silsbee, Texas. When I needed a place to stay, I got reassigned to HWA in Cincinnati, Ohio. I go, Mark, man, I'm living in this damn extended stay. Mark goes, hold on. Hangs up the phone, calls back, goes, all right, I want you to drive to this address. It was a house he owned. And he goes, you can live there rent-free. That's what Mark is. Mark's the kind of guy you hope you can be, and hope you can live up to be, and never ever let down. And Mark, I will tell you this, I love you from the bottom of my heart. And you once told me that you learned so much from me in wrestling. That stuff in the ring is nothing because I learned so much more from you. And with that, I'm not going to take too much time because, the clock's going and I'm doing the short match here. I'm getting the TV match in. It is my great honor, Mark, my privilege. I don't give me the lens, I got it. It is my privilege and pleasure to present you with the CAC Iron Mike Award. Whose script is this? I got somebody's script. How is everybody doing?
Sexual chocolate!
You bet your ass I am. D'Lo was, he wasn't going to say it, but You know, I'm gonna start it off. I wasn't even gonna start like this, but Sexy Chocolate was not a gimmick. Yes, but Sexy Chocolate got retired. Now I traded Sexy Chocolate in for a beautiful wife and kids, and my wrestling history has been that of stuff you would only could write about in a book. I am so happy to be here today receiving this award, but I can't talk about myself too much because this business is not a one-man business. If you don't have anybody to lock up with, you stand in the ring playing with your puppet. It's about the guy that stands across from you. And I've had the best guys. I mean, I got to be in the ring with Ric Flair, Undertaker, man, Rock. So many guys that being in the Hall of Fame is a wonderful thing. But there are greats in our business that supersede and transcend our business. And my first match was with one of them, Jerry Lawler. Yeah! And he's still wrestling. Damn! How is that even possible? We need to get your DNA. I think you got some of that super soldier serum in you. But Jim Ross, he was definitely right. He was one of those that was saw me on television and said that I was made for this business. Vince thought I was made for this business, and they were both right. I was meant to be a wrestler. From the time that my grandmother took me, JR said don't cry. But my emotions make me strong. I was the kid that if you fought and I started crying, everybody should run. I was more powerful when I was angry. I was more powerful when I was emotional. And every time that I got injured, I got to feel that emotion. And Jim Ross said it best. Guys come into business and they blame the business when they don't succeed. They blame the business when they get hurt. They blame everybody but themselves. Every time I left this business, I came back better. Not because I was just that guy. Shut up, I got the microphone. Not because I was that damn good, but because when I was at home, I was studying and trying to figure out what was the next thing that could make me more complete as an in-ring performer. And that thing is history. And history is the most valuable thing we have. And I wasn't a history major, but I tell you what, I wish I would have been. Because in this business, learning history taught me that there was a black guy that wrestled in 1874. He was a slave, but he wrestled. Virtual Small, Black Slim. It taught me that the president on our nickel, Abraham Lincoln, wrestled in the circus. Fast forward to the 40s. John Cosper, that was up here earlier, wrote a book about a man named Jim Mitchell, the guy that broke the color barrier. And you know what, there's no disrespect for Bobo Brazil. Bobo Brazil was one of my favorite inspirations in the business because of his ability to entertain. And there's only been one other guy I think that was able to entertain like Bobo Brazil. His name is Dwayne Johnson. And you can put Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes, Hulk Hogan in that conversation of being the most entertaining guys, and you would be right in every count. They were all great. But talking more about history, the history of wrestling is that of storytale, fairy tales. You got giants. You got evil, evil, evil men. And one of those evil men was Kevin Sullivan. As a little kid, man, I was so scared of Kevin Sullivan. Golly, you talk about fearful. And I get the opportunity to stand in the room with him. And we talk about this whole women's movement. Throughout history, the women have played an unbelievable role in pro wrestling. When we stand here and we talk about Miss Jerry, and we talk about Otta's mom, like there have been powerful women in this business. None more powerful than the boys' wives. I know there's some guys out there that scared of their wives as much as I am. I'm like, I'm your witness. Oh, man. And, you know, Mr. Kozak, I've studied so many tapes, and I know who you were. And that, man, that age of wrestling was different. We talk about guys knowing how to work now. Those guys didn't just know how to work, they knew how to fight. They defended our business in a time of kayfabe. A lot of people we don't practice that no more, we're entertained. But for the guys in here that's a lot older than me that wrestle, that fought, thank you. And a lot of people will shit on David Schultz. But I want to thank you. Where's David? You left? That's probably good because he might come up here and say something else. But David defended this business. If you say my business is fake, I will slap your face. And I had a guy that I respect, and I've noticed his talent for a long time. That's Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis is an unbelievable guy that a lot of people, they see him more in spurts, but I wish I could see him every night. I wish he was working 4 days a week, primetime TV, because he's just that damn good. And we share something. Nick and I share something. And we talk about Dory, being able to introduce Dory and bring Dory up here. I'm going to tell y'all about a camp that I was in called the Funkin' Dojo. There was myself. There was a guy by the name, you know him as Edge. There was a guy by the name that you know him as Christian. The Hardy Boys. 5 Hall of Famers in one camp. Jim Ross signed the Dory trainers. Thank you, Dory. back to history again. I got a chance after getting my ass kicked because I wanted to fight everybody rather than learn how to work. I got sent to Canada. I took my whooping. But while I was taking that whooping, I got to train in heart dance. I got to train with a guy named Leo Burke in Nova Scotia. Trained bad in Brown, and Leo was tougher than all of us. There was a point where Andrew Martin, God rest his soul, was one of the guys that was in the training camp with me up there. And I busted his nose, just split him wide open. Sorry, D-Lo. I got D-Lo too. Sorry, boys. And Leo said, "Come on, man, it's not the way you treat your guys that's working with you. He gave you his body." All right, Jim. I stole this from Dory. It's gonna hurt me, brother. And he bent me over. And he said, "This is how you throw a working punch." And he hit me as hard as he could in the nose. And blood was pouring out of my face. And I was like, "Dear God, why would you do that?" He said, "Well, you did it." He said, "Learn how to work." I spent about an hour punching a shower curtain that turned into 5 hours a week, that turned into 20 to 30 hours a month to learn how to work and not hurt the people that I was across from. It's important for the young people that work. You see this, you have got to protect the people that you stand across from. Somebody said it earlier, we all we got. That is 100% true. And in this journey, I got into reading wrestling novels and wrestling books. And Luke Thez had a book called The Hooker. I don't know if you got it, but you should get it. It is really, really, really good. And I was listening to the stories from Dory and other guys that have come up here before me and talked about Luke Thez in the business of wrestling, not just the performance of wrestling. And I was like, wow, that's how I want to be remembered. He was special. And if Luke Thez was your trainer, he was mine too. Devo said it, you know, we know about me wrestling and what I've done. That's a great thing, and I hope that my kids love it and admire it when I'm no longer here. But the Cauliflower Club is designed so we all can live forever. In 1965, Mike Mazurki was the co-founder and created this concept. I wonder if he knew that he was like, you know what, how can I last another 54 years? He was successful. We're talking about it today. 54th anniversary of them creating something for all of us. He created that for us. We all we got. And I didn't write a speech. I feel like I I can get in front of my family and talk candidly and not have to have a script to follow. But when you're talking about history, it pretty much leads you in the right direction. You just have to follow a chronological order. And when you do that, you'll end up in the right now. And the right now leads us all to the point of how are we going to make this better than Mike intended? We've got to get younger. It's got to get younger. And I talked to Brian Blair, and thank you, Brian, and the committee for allowing me to be able to stand before you all. But I think there was a greater director in getting me to this point, and that's my God, my Savior, Jesus Christ. Yeah. And I think with adding a little spirit in something always helps. And to get younger and to try to create a time where it could get more interesting for our young people. And I have some ideas. And I've gotten by not just on my charm and good looks. Kind of pat myself on the back and break my own hand, but I consider myself to be a smart guy, to be a thinking guy, to be a guy that don't complain a lot, but try to figure out how to solve the problem. How do we fix it? We got to make it fun. We got to invade Las Vegas weeks before this event and do grassroots marketing. We got to get out in the community here. There's about 100 organizations in this city that don't know we're here. It's got to be fixed. We got to put on a show that can fill up the arena like the ones that I've competed in and performed in over the years. How do we get an arena filled with 15,000 people? If we can fill an arena that size, we can make about 200, 300 grand in a weekend. A lot of people could be helped with that money. And just like Jim, I'm not here to take, I'm here to give. I'll give $1,000 to Jim, to the Cauliflower. I mean, we're in Vegas, you got to gamble a little bit, right? But guys, we have to think. We can't just wait on everybody else to do it. I'm sure that some of you are sitting right now like, wow, I got an idea. Call Brian. Let's try to implement some programs and get this stuff done. There's no reason that it shouldn't be. Jim got up here and he said a lot of things I'm not going to say. My mama was, she would pop me so hard if I cuss like that. Potty mouth. But we're both on the same side. We both got each other's back. We all we got. So all of that being said, we've got to do a better job. We got to do a better job. And I'm going to end because Jerry Lawler just did this. I love Jerry, I don't want to make him mad at me. Guys, we all got to love each other. We got to support each other. We're family, we don't fight, we don't argue. It don't mean we don't love each other, we don't respect each other. It just means that we have a disagreement, we got to figure it out. Are we going to figure it out? Y'all convinced me with that. Are we going to figure it out? All right, guys. Thank y'all so much. I'm glad I accepted the award, and I look forward to seeing y'all next